Hey, it's John Braddock and Mike Gorski joining me for the Health Focus video series, the July edition. Actually shooting this just a couple of days after the first day of summer. It's, I think, June 23rd today.
Yeah.
The weather is gorgeous. I had a good Father's Day and did what I always do on Father's Day. Played a little golf in the morning, hung out by the pool in the afternoon, and did some barbecuing.
Nice.
Love the grill.
Nice.
And Mike and I were talking the other day, and he said, hey, there's a lot of great things that you can do out on the grill and barbecuing that are healthy alternatives. So Mike thought, hey, why don't we talk about that? So with that, let's talk grilling.
Well, the sun's out, the weather's nice, so why not get outside and grill? I mean, been cooped up in the kitchen for how long? Let's get outside, get some fresh air. Grilling really is one of the most healthy ways to prepare food. It's a dry heat method, so you don't have to add a ton of fat. It's quick, but there are ways to make it healthier or less healthy. So the first one is choosing your marinade. We want to look at lower calorie options, so you don't want to put a ton of brown sugar in there. You don't want to get too crazy with the oils and adding a ton of sweet stuff. That just tends to coat on excess calories. You end up getting like a sugar-coated steak. So, keep it light. Go with like a soy sauce, some kind of vinegar to help tenderize the meat, especially if it's a leaner cut of meat. Tenderization through marinating is key. It's going to make it taste better, and it actually helps break down some of the meat too, so it makes it easier for your body to process it.
Wonderful. One thing that we do quite a bit, we cook a lot of fish on the grill, which is great, but also I've recently started cooking vegetables right on the grill, like zucchini and things like that. Yeah. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, grilling vegetables is probably one of my favorite ways to prepare them. I know a few months back we talked about roasting vegetables, and it's the same concept. So it's that dry heat. It helps essentially break down some of the starch in the vegetables, which causes a natural caramelization process, which actually will make the vegetables a little bit more naturally sweet without having to add sugar. So the big thing with the veggies is you want to make sure that you cut them in decent portions or sizes. So you want to slice a zucchini, you want to trim off the end of asparagus, stuff like that. You can even marinate the veggies, put a light glaze of olive oil just to keep them from getting too burnt. But then from there, really all you need is maybe a little salt and pepper and you're good to go.
And the best thing about grilling the veggies is that Brussels sprouts don't grill.
Not really. So you can get out of eating Brussels sprouts for the summer, I guess.
Awesome. Say, one thing I notice, and I try to keep up with mine, I got to clean the grill down quite a bit, but I tend to get a lot of flare up.
Okay.
And those kind of things. And I know when the flames really start going, the kids are like, oh man, let's get marshmallows and do s'mores, and things like that, which is a lot of fun. But what about those flare-ups and getting things burned? There's some bad things there?
Yeah, and I mean, a little bit of charring is inevitable, but overcooking the meat, one, I mean, you're going to dry it out. It's not going to taste as good. But two, too much burnt or charring on the meat actually increases your risk. It exposes you to more carcinogens, which have a strong link to cancer. So you really want to make sure that if you char too much of the meat, you either kind of just shave that off before you eat it, or just, pay more attention to the grill. So the higher heat you can have, obviously the quicker your meat is going to cook. So higher heat, and then just stay active with it. Don't let it sit on one side too long. Flip it, get it off there. I really recommend using a meat thermometer. Just kind of stick it in, get all the different temperatures. There's different temperatures for different cuts of meat, but that's going to help keep you, cooking it to an appropriate temperature to reduce bacteria, but also not overcooking it and essentially ruining your meal.
So make sure you've got a full beer when you go over to the grill so you don't have to wander far from it.
Yeah, exactly. You want to have everything right in front of you so you don't have to leave your command post.
Awesome. What other points do we have on a grill?
Well, the big thing is, you kind of hit on it, is keep it clean. That's going to prevent the flare-ups. And then also, when it comes to choosing your cuts of meat, there are more lean cuts that you can choose, or if there's a lot of visible fat around the side of like a steak or a pork chop, you can trim some of that off. But you don't want to trim all of it off because that does add flavor while you're cooking it. So you can cook it with the fat on there and then you can remove the fat when you eat it, because that's just going to help hold in some of the moisture. But you don't need to eat that if you're really watching your calories.
Fantastic. And you've got a document for us that we're going to put with the video also?
Yep.
As always?
As always.
Great. Well, happy grilling. Enjoy the summer, everyone, and I will see you for August.
Sounds good.
Take care, bud.
Thanks, John.